folks. Move forward as close as you want.
Somebody, that one works too.
They're cute. Justice for Mark. Justice for Marks.
Justice for Marks. Justice for Marks. Justice for Marks. Justice for Marks. Justice for Marks. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your time. This is my statement. I am Nancy Christensen, and I am the mother of Lindsay Christensen and Melissa Christensen. I live at 15 Marks Drive in Silver Bay, and this is what I have to say today, so thank you. There is a saying that every parent can relate to. When you have a child, you give a hostage to the world. Every parent has known the fear and the sense of helplessness at the moment they realize that no matter how protective or how careful they are, and no matter how much you love them, bad things can happen to their child, and there's nothing that you can do to stop it. 30 years ago, my husband and I were thrust into every parent's nightmare. We had two smart, beautiful, joyful daughters, aged 5 and 6. They quite literally were angelic in every way. We entrusted the care of our daughters to a family that provided childcare in our home directly across the street from us. We knew the mother and father, who were Christians. Their children always appeared to be well-dressed and well-mannered and respectful. One day when my husband was incapacitated from a spinal surgery, our 5-year-old daughter broke down and was inconsolable. She confided to us that one of the boys had been taking her into the bathroom on an ongoing basis, undressing her and doing inappropriate things. Though a 5-year-old hardly has the words to describe it, what she did tell us, what she told us was that she was sexually assaulted. We filed a police report, and the boy who had repeatedly assaulted our baby girl was arrested. This young man's name is Christopher Swanson. Yes, this is the same Chris Swanson who moved to Two Harbors and was given a position of authority over schoolgirls during soccer and a coach. And yes, this is the same Chris Swanson who became your mayor, who stood before the Two Harbors City Council and claimed he had never been found of any improper doings in his life. While the juvenile records are sealed, I will tell you this. Our family went through a lengthy court process before a judge that Christopher Swanson had indeed sexually assaulted our 5-year-old daughter was established during that hearing process. We were told that we had the option to request that Christopher Swanson be tried as an adult for the sexual assault of a child. We agonized and prayed over the decision. In the end, my husband and I decided to accept his claim of remorse and agreed that he be charged as a juvenile. We have since learned more about the extent of his abuse of our daughter, as well as other neighborhood girls, that have made us wholeheartedly regret this leniency we showed him so long ago. To the people of Two Harbors, to the Two Harbors City Council, and to those who work with Mayor Christopher Swanson, let me make this crystal clear. These are not rumors. These are not sorry. Okay. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
You're doing good.
Thank you. These are not allegations. They're not I'm sorry, I can't say that. Thank you.
Here, I'll come up here right now. Insinuations.
Thank you.
These are not allegations.
Yes, yes. Thank you, my oldest daughter. That Christopher Swanson repeatedly sexually assaulted our 5-year-old daughter when he was 15 is a fact. That Mayor Chris Swanson was arrested and punished for it when he was 16, also a fact. That Mayor Swanson robbed my daughter of her childhood, her self-esteem, her carefree personality, and her chance to live a happy life is a very, very sad reality. For those who say that was a long time ago, he's a different person. Thank you. A man of God. People can change, can't they? Consider this. In the 30 years that followed his expression of remorse and our grants of leniency, Chris Swanson never contacted us to find out how our daughter was doing, not even once. He never learned of the depression, the suicidal thoughts, the years of therapy, the hospitalizations, and the decades of hell that she still battles to this day, and our family. Of course, mental illness is complex, and only God knows how differently her life and our lives would have been if Christopher Swanson had not robbed us of a chance for a happy life. Okay, excuse me.
You're okay.
Yeah,
Do you
okay.
want me to carry for a minute?
No, I'm just gonna take a moment, guys. That's it. Thank you. It's all because you guys are here that we can do this. It's time. But his crimes against my daughter were certainly a significant factor and are set on a destructive course. After a few years of relatively peace and stable, Chris Swanson's first campaign for mayor opened up all the old wounds again and re-traumatized our daughter and our family. His face and name were everywhere: ads, yard signs, more, TV. We would leave the house and have to turn back if we were going for a home visit, coming through 2 harbors. And she would have severe panic attacks as an adult daughter. During his first election, my eldest daughter and others posted details of candidate Swanson's dark past. We shared our story with Lake County News Chronicle, but they stated that it was their policy only to publish positive things about their candidates. We shared with other media sources, but no one deemed mayoral attacks. Sexual assault was an issue on our family. In November 2020, Mayor Swanson contacted the Center for Restorative Justice and Peacemaking at the University of Minnesota Duluth. I will tell you that this organization means the world to our family. It's staffed with some of the most decent and caring professionals we have ever met and worked with. Chris Swanson convinced the professionals that he was genuinely remorseful of things he had done as a juvenile, and he would like to help with the victim and telling that he was sorry. They believed that both his remorse and his version of what happened were sincere. They reached out to our family and asked if we would be willing to engage in their program. We told them if it would help our daughter, we try anything and everything. We just asked for 2 requirements. First, Chris Swanson must agree to make a public admission and apologize, and he must step down as the mayor of Two Harbors. We were told that those terms were acceptable through a intermediary person. For nearly a year, Chris Swanson re-traumatized us with false claims and insincere promises. He provided us with lengthy letters admitting to and apologizing for the sexual abuse of our daughter. We went back and forth with drafts and comments many times. Christopher Swanson led us to believe that he promised resignation was imminent. We would watch city council's meetings every 2 weeks thinking maybe this is the time. But it just did not happen. His response was he had to get his head in the right place, but would do it soon. At the Monday, March 28th, 2022 meeting of the Two Harbors City Council and its citizens were subject to a rally, a pep rally of supporters that included his pastor, the man suing the entire city of Two Harbors on his behalf, Tim Jurinsky, and other citizens singing his praise. An arrogant and defiant Chris Swanson regaled the city council with his polished list of accomplishments as a visionary mayor. He neglected to mention that he successfully completed court order therapy and probation for the sexual assault of our 5-year-old daughter. He did not mention his refusal to accept responsibility for his crimes and his re-traumatization of his victims for his own self-serving purposes. That Mayor Chris Swanson is a sex offender is an open secret in Two Harbors and Silver Bay. And the fact that the good citizens, residents have pulled down their shades rather than support victimized children is a dark cloud that will linger over this region for many, many years to come. In closing, let me say that none of our family members are looking for something as trivial or unfilling as sympathy or pity. Chris Swanson would be wise. It's okay. Chris Swanson would be wise to understand that we are not afraid of any threats. Believe me, Mr. Mayor, there is nothing more than you can do to us that we cannot overcome. We aren't interested in revenge or to cause him or his family pain in any way. For our daughter, we are seeking a public apology and an acknowledgement of the pain and suffering he has caused and continues to cause to this day. For other survivors of sexual assault and their families, we are seeking accountability. We want those who think they can dominate and abuse young women and little girls to understand. Someday those little girls will grow up to be grown women, and they may be surrounded by friends and loved ones like these. Justice for Marks Drive. And when the day comes, it doesn't matter if you're President of the United States of America or the Mayor of Two Harbors, Minnesota, we will hold you accountable. If anyone is truly interested in Mayor Swanson's well-being and the well-being of his family, they will urge him to do the right thing. They will urge him to begin in the walk in the light, out of the darkness. They will urge him to follow the commandments, tell the truth, which will set him free. They will urge him to apologize to all his victims, show true remorse, and ask them for God's forgiveness. And he will resign as mayor and dedicate his life to trying to make amends for the pain and suffering he has caused not only to our daughters, but to the many victims who are now coming forward to speak their truths. I thank you very much for your time and coming out. Sorry. All right. Oh, yeah. I just gotta open these pages here. Yeah, that's my nose. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today. We originally were slated to speak inside at the city council meeting, but were cut Thursday after it was decided that our concerns are a personal matter not pertinent to city business. My understanding is that the mayor was permitted to have a minister and some of his church fellows attend a council meeting in March to attest to his virtue. I think that speaks for itself. I'm here to tell you that Mayor Chris Swanson sexually assaulted my sister when he was 15 and she was 5 years old. With permission, I can no longer spare you the details. She was raped and defiled. It happened multiple times in the home. His mother provided daycare to us, and he told her that he would hurt her family if she ever told. It was not childhood experimentation. It was malicious abuse. I remember many family therapy sessions around this time. I remember blaming myself for not stopping at the time I walked in on him hurting her. I know that a 6-year-old doesn't know what they're seeing, yet I still carry this burden of guilt. Thank you. I remember a sense that everything must be kept secret as to not inflict more pain. The mayor was charged as a juvenile, took a plea deal, and executed a sentence. These records remain sealed, and we have been advised that we cannot release them without the threat of litigation. Eventually, my family moved on, but damaged. Then in 2016, he announced his candidacy for mayor of this town. We contacted his office and left messages asking him not to put my sister through this. We told him that we had no desire to ruin his life, but that we didn't feel it was too much to ask that he not pursue this position of power and access after ruining hers. As he continued to ignore and dodge us, we continued to plead with him. When he made it clear that he didn't care how we felt, we tried to go public. That didn't gain much traction, and having him to watch his sanctimonious behavior in the press has been one of the biggest insults of our lives. It has been excruciating and re-victimizing for my sister. Then, seemingly out of the blue last year, we were contacted by the Restorative Justice Program, letting us know that the mayor had been working with them and was hoping to start a dialogue with us if we were open to it. While we were extremely skeptical given his actions only a few years prior and the fact that he seemed to be eyeing higher public office, we decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. Thank you. Thank you. We expressed that true amends are more than words, however. They are actions. We agreed that we were willing to let him have control of the narrative and do what he needed to do to resign with some dignity. He seemed to agree. He wrote us multiple statements affirming the abuse, some private letters to our family, and some drafts of public statements he claimed he would eventually make. We went back and forth for weeks editing statements only for him to say that he needed more time or he wasn't quite in the right headspace, and he would say that he wasn't ready over and over again. This once again began to consume our daily lives. It was agonizing, and we began to realize that someone who was truly reformed and attempting to help us heal would never put us through this. It became clear that his attempt to make amends was actually an attempt to manage and mitigate us. We began to field concerns from other victims who were frustrated that Mr. Swanson had made no attempt to reach out to them. They felt this was likely because the abuse to them was never as public as Lynn's. We also took note of the fervor in which he was fighting the growing calls for him to resign for other ethical violations. We feel like pawns in his chess game. Last month, he terminated from the restorative justice program and ghosted my family. Shortly after, he gave a defiant public speech saying he would not resign because he has committed no malfeasances. One thing has become clear. Throughout all the events that transpired since the mayor abused my sister, it has never been about what she needed to heal. It's always been about Chris Swanson and his aspirations. I'm asking that this stops today and that he finally makes a true amends and resigns. Thanks everybody for coming. We appreciate you.
I think that's it.